And it's also, so what we'll be having is we're recording this webinar today, and we'll be recording every one of them. So we'll be having questions at the end, but you can type your message in there to us for a question if you want to. And if I can get it in without disturbing the flow, then great, I'll answer it. But we'll have the questions at the end because these are being recorded. And then what we'll also do is we'll also send you the link to this video, which you can then watch or send to your builders, whoever you'd like to, for the next 7 days, and they can then watch it. But it will only be around for 7 days. So by the end of the next training, which will be, well, sorry, not next training, because we've got another training tomorrow night, and then the next training will be Monday night. So by the end of that training, the first training will come down. That makes sense. So it gives you 7 days to watch it. And we do that too, so there's a time scale so you guys can, you watch them rather than just keep it in your inbox to do. And so we're going to do that with every single training that we've got going. So the first one today that we're going to start with is the intro to the business. So can you take that away, Bex?
Yeah, I think we'll give a bit of a background to us, just a quick 2 minutes. So I came across doTERRA about 2 years ago, and it was the oils that drew me in, probably like most of you. I saw how amazing they were and pretty much fell in love with them very quickly. And then the business just kind of evolved, and I decided I really wanted to do this as a business. Now, Nathan wasn't quite as keen at the beginning.
I was tricked. Well, not quite tricked. No, I thought multi-level marketing was a scam, and I also thought that the essential oils, I didn't really know much about them, but I thought they were just a nice smelling, I would call them quite fluffy. And so I was really quite against Rebecca doing this, but she kind of decided that she really wanted to do it, and it's not my place to say she can't do it. So she decided to go ahead and do it, and we're kind of here we are now. Yeah. And here I am on a webinar at 8 o'clock at night.
It took him about almost a year. So don't give up if your partner's a little less into it than you are.
Yeah, I was really not into it, but now I actually love the oils, and I especially love the business side of it, and I love the multi-level marketing side of it, which we'll talk about in this session a little bit. So a lot of these, this beginning class also answers a lot of questions that if you're looking to do the business, you're obviously wanting to try and find other people that want to do the business. That's the whole point of it. This is a very, very good introduction to any of those people that have got these questions. We're going to be answering a lot of the main questions that people have when they first start doing the business or thinking about doing the business.
So let's begin. So I think it's very important when you first start doing the business in doTERRA or thinking about it, is to understand that our mission is what it says on the screen. It's to literally help others. So it's to spread wellness and to give people the opportunity to learn of an amazing, powerful way of naturally enabling them to help their own ailments and things in a very pure and safe way. So that is the mission. It's, also, of course, as the business, we do get to make money along the way, but our focus is to spread the love of the oils and to help others see how amazing they are. And that, to me, was a huge, huge selling point when I first was considering doing the business. Because many of you may be like me, you're maybe not natural salespeople, you don't feel comfortable selling. And with doTERRA, although, yes, we do sell oils, they pretty much sell themselves, and we're literally just there to educate people and bring them to the knowledge of the oils, and then we leave the decision in their hands. And that was a big part that I absolutely loved about it. Okay, so just to introduce the other members of our family. Here is Sophia's the oldest, on the right hand side, and then Sienna and little Isabel. So they're 6, 4 and 2, so I have 3 daughters. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I did the business. I'm a teacher, I'm a science teacher, and I used to do supply teaching, and it took me away from my family. So for me, I really wanted something that would enable me to be able to have time to spend with my family, and it was flexible to work around my life already. And I think we all, I'm sure, whether you have children or not, you probably have other jobs or other things that, you know, take a lot of time out of your life. So doTERRA is a very flexible business that can fit around this. And when you first begin doing the business, I think it's quite important to, you know, picture, you know, why you're doing this. What's your purpose? Is it to enable a better quality of life, more time freedom, or are you just very passionate about sharing something that's very positive, or maybe all of those things? For me, it was definitely to share the oils because I stay passionate about them, but also to create time freedom and with the quality of life that I wanted. So by, you know, earning a good amount of money would allow me to do those things. Slide.
So,
okay.
yeah, so many of you probably heard the story about buckets versus pipelines. I'm not sure how true the story is, but it's a very good analogy. So there's two guys who work in Africa. They live in Africa, and they live in a village, and they have to walk every day to the local water hole to collect water, and they carry it in buckets. So they're carrying their buckets, and they're carrying a bucket on their head, and they have to walk 5 miles every day there and back. And they earn money by selling a cup load of water to, you know, individuals in the village, and they earn an okay living doing that. One of them decides that he's, you know, it's not quite enough for him, so he wants to build a pipeline. So he starts digging a trench. Now, obviously, when he's digging a trench, he doesn't have the time to then go and get as much water as his friend does. So his friend, you know, keeps on doing quite well, and he's not doing as well. And so, you know, he's only able to make 1 trip a day. The villagers are laughing at him because he's just digging a trench, and literally he's doing it for, you know, not very much, or no reward whatsoever at that point. And then his friend keeps on, you know, getting the water and getting all the rewards. But he keeps on digging the trench, and eventually he reaches the water hole, and he lays the pipeline, and then all he has to do is turn on the tap. And then he's puts his friend out of business. He's made water cheaper because he can get it as much as he wants, whenever he wants. So the villagers are now bathing in water, not just a cup load, and it's cheaper for them. So he's making more money, as well as, you know, giving the village a much better quality of life. And this is called a pipeline. And we relate this to the doTERRA business because of the pipeline which you'll be setting with the retention rate that doTERRA has. So the most important thing about doTERRA's pipeline is the fact that 65% of people, once they join, will buy from doTERRA every 1 to 3 months. Okay, now that is a staggering amount. That's huge. Against the industry average is only 13%. Okay, so 65% of people buy every 1 to 3 months. Now, this is one thing that absolutely blew me away when I was looking at Rebecca's back office and seeing that, you know, one of the things that when we first started, wasn't it, was that I thought that people would buy the oils and that they would buy one of them and then they would never buy them again because they were just, you know, they were nice smells that people would buy and then, you know, not use. But that's not the case with doTERRA. Because of how amazing the oils are, people buy every single month. And 80% of doTERRA's customers buy once a year. It's also very important to know that doTERRA is a debt-free company. It has no outside funding. And why this is so important to understand is because the number one reason, and probably the top 10 reasons why businesses go under, is because of debt, because of financing. Now, doTERRA isn't going to go under. They have no debt, which means that you can be safe in the knowledge that, you know, over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if you build in a business, that doTERRA is not going to suddenly collapse, which through no fault of your own would be horrendous. So that's really important to know.
And they won't ever go public either.
No, they won't, because of the management. So remember, this most important part about doTERRA and any multi-level marketing company or any company you can think of is the retention rates. Okay.
So another important thing you'd like to know about doTERRA is who's at the core And this is the leadership team that doTERRA has. And it's a wonderful team. I've got to meet a couple of them personally, but I've seen them all when I've gone to the American convention. And the first time I actually went there, which was when I first started doing doTERRA, I was really impressed by what the leaders were talking about. They all seemed to speak from their heart. And they all, some background noise. And they all were they seemed to be very integral, and they all had a real reason why they were in doTERRA. And it wasn't just to create a business. They all seemed to share a common purpose, which we'll come and talk about in a second. But they're very much into helping others, and that is their purpose, and creating a business around that. They've also got lots of talents in the team as well. So they've got marketing directors and people that have come from other companies, some from network marketing companies, others were CEOs of other big companies. So it's good to know that there are lots of good people at the core of our business that's helping to lead and create a very firm business, really foundation.
Lots of men, as Danny would say.
Lots of men.
That's right.
We do need some more women.
Maybe on this leadership team, but there's a lot more women, believe me.
Yeah, we've outnumbered them in the wellness consultant area. So this is part of the purpose that I was mentioning. So something that doTERRA do that I really am very passionate about is co-impact sourcing. Now what that means is they basically, as you probably already know, is they source every single oil from its natural habitat. But on top of that, what they will do as far as possible is they will source from developing countries, and especially countries that are really struggling economically. They can go in and have wonderful partnerships with the local farmers and establish a long-term contract that gives those farmers stability and confidence in their future. And what they also do is they go in and they can help build the infrastructure as well. So they help develop water supplies and schools if needed, working with the community. So that, I think, is really wonderful because that really helps, those countries as well. So not only are we helping people with the essential oils, but also helping people across the world with their future. And of course, the other thing that doTERRA offer is their wonderful product, which is untouchable, really. The oils that they produce are, they are the best. They're the best oils that you can get. And that's because of their certified pure therapeutic grading system. So I mentioned every single oil is sourced from its natural habitat. That is extremely important because the essential oil is the immune system of the plant. So when it's grown in its natural habitat, it's going to be a lot stronger, a lot more potent, and therefore a lot more effective.
I don't think you've done that justice. They're the most potent oils on the planet, and they're also they're 100% natural. They're 100% pure. The oils, as you all know, are incredible, and it's the number one thing about this business that sells itself. Slovex.
That's fine. And also then they do the testing on the oils as well. So once they've got the most potent oil in the world, they then do testing on them to make sure that they're absolutely free of contaminants, chemicals, pesticides. There's nothing else in these oils that shouldn't be there. And they don't just do that on a few randomly selected oils. They do that on every single drop of oil. So that's why we can guarantee that doTERRA have the best oils. And that's why you can take them internally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Rebecca is obsessed with the oils. She absolutely loves them. And, her passion, I was just thinking her passion didn't quite portray how much she loves them there. So one of the most important things about this business in the UK at the moment is that we're in the growth phase, or we're right at the beginning. It's a very, very exciting time to join doTERRA right now. And the reason why we know this is because in the United States, the doTERRA started about 8 years ago. And the first 3 or 4 years, they grew very, very slowly. And in the 4th to 5th year, they inclined extremely rapidly, and their business just took off. And where we are is where that circle is on the slide right there at this moment in time. Okay, so in about a year's time, we're going to be just above that circle and growing into that, steady upline. And so right now is a very, very good time to join doTERRA. They're also the fastest growing essential oil company in the world, but they're also one of the fastest growing companies in the world today, full stop. Network marketing or any other. We strongly believe and feel that essential oils are going mainstream. There is a massive trend at the moment towards health, natural health. Everyone's going that way, and even more people are going to go that way. And it's people at the beginning with us and yourselves that are going to be, help to make some good money, but also be at the front and forefront of a revolution with these natural health products. And so it's a very, very exciting time. Now, we get asked a lot, why does doTERRA have to be multi-level marketing? I thought it was a scam. Like I said right at the beginning, I always had a bad negative connotation when it comes to multi-level marketing or the illegal version, Ponzi schemes, or any other kind of scheme, a pyramid scheme, people call it. Now, the reason why it has to be multi-level marketing is because it needs to be passed on through peer-to-peer or friend-to-friend or, face-to-face. These oils, if you put them in the Holland & Barrett, they wouldn't sell very well. Well, they wouldn't have grown anywhere near what they've grown at, doTERRA's grown in 8 years to be over $1 billion company, and it's expanding rapidly. It just would not grow through the traditional way very fast at all. So there has to be, you can't, if these oils were sold in Holland & Barrett, you wouldn't be able to sample people. You wouldn't be able to tell people how amazing they are. You wouldn't be able to say, try this. It will help your child with this. You wouldn't be able to test it on people. You wouldn't be able to say how great that, the 100% purity is. You wouldn't be able to say how potent it is. There's just so much you wouldn't be able to say when it's placed on a shelf in Holland & Barrett or another equally as good company. So they have to be done through testimonials and through education, through classes. It also means that there's no traditional sales force, so doTERRA don't have to pay for any marketing really. And it means that they can then pay us and give us back, the people that are actually selling the products and actually doing the work, and give back to us, which is very, very kind of them. I'm grateful for it. But it also means that, we're also probably going to spend a little bit more on doTERRA oils, and it means that the business can grow even more rapidly. So it's a very, very good system, and I'm completely sold on it now. And I'm very excited by it. There's 3 ways that you can get involved with doTERRA. So you don't have to do this as a business. You can do it for your own healthcare. So that's the number 1. And 80 to 95% of people do it for their own healthcare. Okay, so most people, unlike a lot of multi-level marketing schemes, this is simply about selling the oils, and people can choose whatever they want to do, and most people just buy the oils and they do nothing else. Okay. The second thing is you can share it. So you can just share it with your friends, make a little bit of money on the side for some sorry, I lost my train of thought. You can make a little bit of money on the side if you're sharing the oils to pay for oils. Or thirdly, you could do it as a business, and you can share it a lot more, or you can actually go to shows, or you can go to different events, or however you want to show to spread doTERRA. And there's 5 ways to earn money with doTERRA. The first is called monthly retail profit, and that means 25% off the retail sale you would earn. The second is called weekly fast start, and you earn a percentage in the first 60 days of somebody's oils. Okay, whatever they spend on their oils. The third is called Power of 3, and simply all you need to do is put 3 people under you, and if they're doing 100, let's say £100, then you would get a small bonus for whatever they do. And then the fourth one is called Uni Level, and that's simply you earn a percentage on every level below you up to a level 7, and whatever anybody spends forever, you will get a certain percentage of whatever they spend. And then there's leadership bonus pools, and I think the training in week 2, one of the trainings is on that. So we'll explain that in great detail and help you along with that, because there's obviously you have to learn the way doTERRA uses their system. And then this is what you could expect to earn and on average, and this has been our pathway from executive to platinum. So at this moment in time, we're platinum, we're working on diamonds, and so this is what we've earned from the minimum side of things. We haven't actually stayed any of these ranks for very long, so we've never got to the high side of these items yet, because we're moving quite quickly. And so you can see here the progression and things you can earn.
Okay, so if you're going to be starting the business, you'll want to know what kind of support you're going to be getting. Well, it's really good because in doTERRA you always have an upline. From now on, we didn't really have much of an upline. Becky and us, we were kind of starting at the same time, so we kind of muddled our way through. But you guys all have an upline who has done the business before you and knows what they're doing a bit more. So they're there to support you along the way. You'll also have you'll probably have a couple of uplines as well that you can utilise. They're there to help you. And you've also got quite a lot of online support, and your upline will guide you into that direction. We're starting to do more online trainings. So from this point, we're developing at the moment. So you've got this training that we're doing at the moment. In the future, we'll be developing some more advanced training as well. So as Nathan said, I think at the beginning, every month we're going to be repeating these trainings. So they'll be on a cycle. This is the only live ones we're doing, but every single month we're going to be repeating these trainings at a set time each week, and we'll do a question and answer session at the end of the month for anybody that has questions. So there will be that to help you as well in your journey. We do workshops at least once a quarter at the moment. But that will probably start to increase as well. There'll be some more business training. So yes, there's a lot of support there. That's it, I think. Okay, so these are some other resources online. The everythingessential.me one, we actually need to update that because this has been archived. So we have got a link. So ask your upline for the link to that if you'd like to access that. It's a very good online resource where you can look up ailments and get specific advice accordingly. And so that's really good. The other one I'd say is the doTERRA tools is very helpful. So do go onto that website. There's lots of resources available that you'll be using for classes, such as price lists, product information. There's also videos of each of the products on there. So that's a good one to look at, but I'll be discussing more in some of my trainings. And then for those of you that are into science, like myself, you may want to have a little gander at aromaticscience.com. Another good one is actually PubMed. So Aromatic Science is actually doTERRA's scientific site, but PubMed is general to the public. So I really like that one as well because it's not at all biased. And then sharedoterra.com is actually a really good resource as well. It's very American. So you have to kind of excuse the slight American cheese, or you might be into that. But yeah, they've got some really good resources on there for you to have a look at as well for some business training. So yeah.
Yes. So that's the end of the introduction to the business. So